In this episode of GNews Wired, we will take you behind the scenes of Grassfield High School. Come with us to the video game and dodgeball tournament where students competed against each other for a good cause. The competition continued on the stage of the pageant where it represented the beauty of Grassfield and an inside look in the mind of a writer. You can see all this and more in this episode of GNews Wired.
Welcome to the third episode of the 5th season of GNews Wired. I'm John Adams.
And I'm Drew Gibbs, coming to you from the GNews studio in Chesapeake, Virginia. This show was written and produced by Grassfield High School photojournalism students.
This year, Mr. Vogel was back for revenge at the Dodgeball Tournament. Here's Haley Robinson with the story.
One of the most anticipated competitions at Grassfield High School brought in a huge crowd. On Friday, February 17th, students and teachers gather in the gymnasium to have fun and raise money for after prom. While family and friends filled the bleachers, the 17 teams met in the forum to go over rules and expectations.
When it is your turn to go down on the court to play, obviously one team will be on one side and the other team on the other side. There are going to be 6 dodgeballs along the half-court line. Your team will be able to get the 3 to the right.
To kick off the night, chorus director Elise Krepko sang the national anthem.
We started this event 7 years ago as a fundraiser for After Prom. We want to do something a little different that would really bring the kids out and get them involved. I think the positive impact is that people let to almost bring their alter ego out, and they really get into their characters and they have a blast playing dodgeball. And I think that's the most fun to watch, all the different personalities come out.
One of the personalities that came through that night was Corey Diaz from STEM Squad.
Well, I've done it every year and it's been really fun and I really want to win this year. I'm having a great time. Hopefully we win. Just hoping.
The $40 registration fee for each team went to a good cause.
Usually, historically, it's about $1,500. We've gone a little bit higher with $1,800 a couple times. Last year we had 24 teams, this year we have 18.
This tournament was only one of the many ways students in the community can support After Prom.
Definitely come out to the meetings. We would love to have not only parents of seniors, but we really need parents of underclassmen so that we continue the successes that we've had.
But Prestige World had the biggest success of the night with their win. I'm Haley Robinson with photographer Brandy Michael reporting for GNews Wired.
While the purpose of the Dodgeball Tournament was to raise money for After Prom, another tournament that same weekend had a different goal.
The second annual video game tournament was on February 18th at Grassfield High School. The event was organized by David Thaw's Leadership Development students, also known as the Nutrition Commission. It was a 4-hour event that cost 6 cans per hour and 15 cans for the entirety of the tournament.
About 3 years ago, Mr. Thaw and I started working on his Lead to Feed projects within the class, and last year was our inaugural video game challenge, so I've been happy to work with them again this year with the second video game challenge here at Grassfield High School.
Students could choose games to play including FIFA Soccer, Mario Kart, Just Dance, and Forza Motorsports. There was also a Smash Bros. Competition held in the forum with winners taking home the prizes.
You feel a little more like if you're at home. Like you're comfortable to walk around and like talk to these people about like random stuff. Just makes you feel more comfortable and just more lively. I'm really excited and I hope I win. I'm having a great time with everybody else and everyone else's energy is through the roof.
It's a really good event. It's a good way to meet other people who have the same interests as you. I don't know about other events. I haven't been to many, but this is pretty fun.
With the help of Matt Puryear, students could also purchase concessions at the event. All proceeds and donated goods went to support the food bank of Southeast Virginia.
The video game tournament is a relatively new event here at Grassfield High School. It has sparked the imagination of students and is helping others.
I'm reporter Candace Brown, working with photographer Dominic Pistrito for GNews Wired.
With the addition of the new Grizzly Gamer Club this year, it's no surprise that this tournament turned out to be a big success.
That's true, John, and reporter Lauren Moss actually brings us another success story with this close-up look on how one student doesn't let his disabilities define him.
We all have some things in common: family, friends, and we are a student at Grassfield High School, but we aren't all the same. Some of us struggle more than others.
My impairment is known as cerebral palsy. It's sort of a muscle disability, and mine has affected about my entire body, mostly my lower body. I was born 2 months premature with a hole in my brain and in my heart, and that was basically the cause of the disability. Been through 14 different surgeries, some in the same places, because I had to get like a plate put in and then a plate removed. Going through therapy, that was always the hardest part. Having to get my shoes on, that's not something I've learned to do. It's something that's more difficult. My life, I've mostly learned to do everything I can. Not really the way you would do it, but I learned to do it my way.
Through elementary and middle school, Malcolm overcame bullying.
Know anything. Like, they don't know how to see the world. They think, oh, this kid's disabled, he's weird. One kid thought like I was infectious, like if you hung around me you could get my disability. So it was a whole bunch of crazy nonsense of just bullying and just misunderstanding.
It takes one person to make that struggle lesser.
Malcolm was a kid that I knew from my best friend Samantha.
When I first met Dominic, he used to hang out with my sister a lot.
And I met him for the first time when he was watching TV in his living room.
I'd always come over, ask if my sister could come outside, you know, play soccer, play catch and all that. Of course, me being how I am, I didn't like sports and I would just, just stay inside. But one day he came over and he asked if I could hang out. And that was like, I had to pause and take a minute and like, wait, what?
And he didn't know a lot of people, and I met him. And then, ever since then, we just started hanging out.
And then we just hung out, and we had a lot of fun. And that was the day I first met Dominic.
Malcolm remains involved in the Grassfield community.
I am in chorus. That much is what I do. I am a Grizzly Gamer. It's the new club that started this year, and I think that's pretty interesting. It's something new and something different. I'm glad to be a part of it. I've been to Laps for Lymphoma once, and I think that was something pretty interesting because, you don't really expect to see somebody with a disability who can't walk at a walking event. So I think that got people up and running, even in the rain.
Malcolm lives past his disability to ponder on the future.
The best that I can hope for is 10 years from now, I'll be in a life where I can support myself, where my family knows that I can support myself, and it'll be a life that I can say is worth living. You'll hear me say this, time and time again, that life is a book, and we all write our own chapters. So I thank you for reading one of mine.
As a junior, Malcolm is getting ready to finish the chapter on his time at Grassfield High School. But in this next piece, we meet a student who hasn't even began writing hers yet.
Students and their coach are here to represent their championship team. Next, we have Trinity Reynolds.
Trinity Reynolds, an 8th grade student at Hugo Owens Middle School, received an award in front of the Chesapeake School Board.
Central Division with an undefeated.
It was a Player of the Year award. I've made the most points, and I was the one that was the team captain and stuff. I mean, it's just another award to go into myself to set my goal.
Trinity attended the ceremony with her mother by her side, Brenda Reynolds.
I was very emotional, very proud of her, everything that she has accomplished and achieved.
Trinity has grown with herself as well as with her team.
My team, and we've been close, and I just know that we always have our back, even when we're off the court.
Her love grows for the sport each day that she plays.
I can't really explain how much I love about basketball. It's just when I step up on the court and just I take out all my anger and everything out on, and I can't hear the crowd or anything.
Trinity first fell in love with basketball after a Christmas gift from her mother.
We got her a basketball goal for Christmas, and I've never known anybody to go outside and play basketball by themselves.
Well, first I played many other sports in like different leagues, and just basketball was my favorite, and my dad kind of inspired me to go more on with basketball.
Keep a lookout for Trinity Reynolds dribbling down the Grassfield court next year, and in a few years, catch her in the WNBA. This has been reporter Victoria Mulmer from GNews Wired.
While Trinity was busy competing on the court, 9 Grassfield ladies took their competition to the stage.
On Saturday, January 14, 2017, many people joined the Grassfield High School students and faculty to support the contestants of the Mr. and Miss Grassfield Pageant.
I'm really looking forward to the opening number. It's a really fun dance, and even though it's kind of hard and we might have a little bit of trouble with it, I think it'll end up being really exciting.
The theme of the 10th annual event was a decade of diamonds. As the pageant began, each contestant presented themselves to the audience while having biographies read about them.
Decker Club, Key Club, and TICC Initiative.
After each presentation, Star Watley and Steve Vitsines introduced the judges for the evening, including our very own Mama Grace. The talent portion allowed the ladies to show off their unique personalities. Tiara Ringo performed the majorette routine, and Jillian Dorr performed a monologue from the musical Promedy. While in between each performance, the Mr. Grassfield contestants introduced themselves.
In fact, as long as one lasted about 12 minutes. Yeah, Justin managed to make it into the Honor Society, but cannot seem to make it home for curfew.
Steve Vitsines opened up the question and answer segment where the contestants shared their thoughts about a wide range of issues.
The best advice a parent could share to his or her children is to never stop learning, because in a world that moves so fast, why would you make yourself stand still? Thank you.
To wrap up the evening, Alyssa Mayorga, the 2016 Miss Grassfield, took her final walk and then passed on her crown to Natalie Merrill with the Mr. Grassfield 2017 Seth Riley. I'm Angel Bell reporting for GNews Wired.
The contestants definitely sparkled at the pageant. Kat Monin, a member of the literary magazine, shines in a different way. Reporter Brooke Manning sat down with Kat to learn more.
He might have been beautiful once. His hair fell about his face in German chocolate curls, and his high cheekbones.
Kat Monin, as a sophomore, enrolled in Mrs. Haste creative writing class. Through Mrs. Haste's guidance, Kat not only gained proper punctuation, she gained her voice.
I felt that urge to raise my hand, and that's how it started. And as it went on, I continued raising my hand to read my free rights in Mrs. Haste's class, and that led to me gaining some confidence. It felt a bit like, defeating a monster. I felt powerful, and it gave me a feeling that I had something to contribute, something to offer. That was before they found him.
Kat was a student in my creative writing class. She was also a member of Literary Magazine. She was not one of the students who raised her hand to share, even though when I read her works, I encouraged her to read them out loud because they're so amazing. I remember the first time she did it, the entire class was so silent.
She's been a real positive influence and just always encouraging me even when I say, oh, this isn't a good piece of writing, she'll be like, well, read it out anyway and we'll just see. And she's never put me down or made me feel like I shouldn't be reading my things out loud. I really felt that she deserved to be recognized for her work in helping not just me, but the other students who take creative writing. And she's just one of my favorite teachers, of course, since I nominated her.
Miss Haste was nominated by Kat for Teen Inc's Educator of the Year Award, and through Kat's inspirational essay, Miss Haste is a finalist. Teen Inc. will be announcing the winner in June.
I was so honored to have been nominated for this award. Kat is very special. She is an amazing writer. To be published in the actual paper magazine is very difficult because a lot of students get published online, but they don't get in the print magazine.
Kat has been published 9 times in Teen Ink and is continuously building her confidence in her ability to write and herself.
When she first started my class last year, she didn't write about herself as much, and now she's feeling more comfortable to do that.
Sometimes I'll feel a bit more apprehensive to write about certain things knowing that people will read it, but sometimes I'll just go for it just to get a reaction, also knowing that people will read it. I'm still not the most outgoing person. I feel a bit more comfortable like just talking in groups in any sort of situation, and I feel more confident in any sort of work that I might put out there, whether it be writing or not. Now his hair hangs in lank tendrils, and his cheeks are high and hollow. His eyes are vacant, dead, and his skin is mottled with bruises. He is now a broken thing, but he might have been beautiful once.
Kat uses her stories to escape reality, while Grassfield seniors use their early release privilege to escape school. Here's reporter Tierra Ringo to find out how the privilege began.
It's time to go.
By definition, a privilege is a special right, advantage, or immunity granted or available only to a particular person or group of people.
And in the second semester, the senior class of 2017 started the senior privilege of early release on Fridays.
This is my 5th year as the 12th grade assistant principal, and when I took over, one of the things I asked the senior class if there was any special privileges or things they would like to have as seniors. And this is one of the things that came up, so I went to Mr. Perez at the time, and we kicked it around, and we thought that if they were a good class and earned it through first semester, then starting second semester we would give them an early release at 3:30 on Fridays.
I play a spring sport, so when I leave early from the senior bell, I go down to the locker room, and it allows me to skip all the commotion in the hallways in the evening.
Seniors obviously appreciated the privilege, but faculty also has some opinions as well.
I feel that senior privilege is a privilege, and I think that they should be allowed to leave early, but I'm glad that they start it in the spring because it is earned and not just because.
Well, as we say every year, it is a privilege, and therefore a privilege can be taken away. So the main thing we emphasize is that the senior class leave at 3:30. It's not to get out of class 8 minutes early and hang around in the locker rooms and disturb the other classes that are still in class. So all they have to do is make sure they follow the rules that we've put in place, and they have, and they've done a great job. It's not been a problem. So we just emphasize that you leave as quickly and quietly as possible, not to disrupt anybody else, and go enjoy your weekend a few minutes early.
I am Tierra Ringo, reporting for GNews Wired.
Hey Drew, keep this on the DL, but GNews is lit.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Let's ask the teacher.
Here's Brooke Manning, Tori Mulmer, and Izzy Cologne with the story.
Lit. Lit?
Lit.
Something is cool or on fire or awesome or swagadelic.
Lit would be a nice abbreviation for the word literature. Lit means like it's really good. It's really awesome.
Lit means something that is fantastic, like, oh, this is lit. Okay.
Lit, I think means, a lot of young people use it now, that it's cool or it's like exciting and that it's happening right now.
Yeah, good.
I've never heard that one. The plug? The plug is very important to keep cars running. It's a spark plug. It keeps electricity firing. It's an automotive thing. I have no idea. The plug?
The plug, youtobomb.com.
So I guess they're cool.
The plug? Like in the bathtub? The plug?
The plug. It's an outlet that you put your cell phones in, so that's the plug.
My interpretation of the slang is like you would get something from someone, so it's kind of like a hookup. So the plug, yeah.
Finesse?
Yeah.
Well, that's an actual word, so like it's skill, I guess.
Finesse. If you have finesse, you have a lot of swag, you have a lot of skill, you make difficult things look easy.
Finesse. You're trying to slip into somebody's DMs?
Finesse. To finesse something, it's like to work it or to make it, like to work it.
Well, it's like, you know, you're smooth, you know, you have a lot of style, you know.
Finesse. I guess another word is like finagle, or like trying to ease over somebody. So it's like you're finessing it, making it seem better than what it actually is.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we have.
All right, cool, cool.
All right.
And that's all we have for you today, Grassfield High School.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of GNews Wired. I'm Drew.
And I'm John. Catch you next time, Grizzlies.